look at communication. So we find that, that birds have particular song dialects depending on the geographical area they're found, even in the same species, that dolphins communicate, that chimpanzees and gorillas have fairly interesting communication systems. They're not human language, but they're also not totally unlike human language. One view is that language, the view that language is primarily a form of grammar, came about in our species, in Homo sapiens, about 100,000 to 200,000 years ago. The alternative view, which I will talk about tonight, is that language has existed for about 60,000 generations, or more than 1 million years. And this, so another thing to clarify is that speech is secondary. The sounds that are coming out of my mouth are just one way to express language. It can be expressed by color-coded shapes, it can be expressed by hand signals, it can be expressed by mouth signals, by sounds. You don't need a lot of speech to have language. After all, think of the computer. How many speech sounds does a computer have? Individual things that it can recognize. Well, it has 2, 1 and 0. And everything that can be said with 1s and 0s. Computers have better memories in some respects than we do, so they can remember and distinguish longer sequences. So we tend to have more than just 2 symbols. Actually, you could have just 1 symbol and have a language, you know, right? Because you could have means tree, and means by the tree, and means over there by the tree, or something like that. But that's hard to remember, so those systems don't tend to do too well. In fact, I don't know of any languages like that. The smallest system that I'm aware of is Pitaha, which has 8 consonants if you're a man, 7 consonants if you're a woman, and 3 vowels. And it also has 2 tones, which is something when we talk about the evolution of speech, we sometimes forget that there are tone languages and that people can distinguish words by tones rather than just by consonants and vowels.